incomparable Patrick Rocard. Patrick, I have two chapbooks I'd like to plug tonight. Wincing Awake in Chains and Dysfunctional Zeitgeist. Both chapbooks for only $4.99. Special only for tonight. $4.99. And also I have CDs for anyone who's interested in the performance I did in 2009 with my band, my G3D. It's an hour-long, happiest thing I ever did here. $4.99. Besides being a friend, doing this is the most important thing I do. Thank you for showing up. I'll read a little bit out of my new chapbook, and then something old, and then we'll get on to Ross and Evelyn, and I can't wait to hear from them because I'm tired of my stuff. I'm looking forward to that. This is called Anchored in the Ridiculous. Aquatic syntactical engines, often called the brains of mermaids, aroused by radiation, are inching along with Japan's traffic, spinal cords twitching meaningfully behind. No one has their eyes open. That explains the lack of headlines. Crows are gorging their murder of worms as ceaseless greedy sea reclaims another living room. Serenity pasted to everyone's face. The blinking seems mathematically precise. This narration is sketchy because my eyes are also closed. This narrator is guided by a light that's neither the world's nor God's. The light arose from self-delight. Theodore Sturgeon wrote, "I think people only cry when there's a chance of getting help somewhere." He hid this pain in a sci-fi story. It saved his life. It explains why my friends inch towards their cliffs dry-eyed. I'm optimistic, so I cry all the time. Woe to the one who gets in the way of humans inching towards cliffs. They can't see. They crush. Best to watch them with eyes closed, drop one by one, cry about it, hide the pain in a story. I inch within the ridiculous, not towards a cliff. It's not that I don't desperately want the cliff. Of course I want the fucking cliff. That's where my friends are. It's just that the brains of mermaids won't let me go there. Aspects. Sarah knew an omelet was only an aspect of God's truth and was determined not to give up till God hacked mucus into her tip cup. Children understood this. Academic poets did not. Sarah called snow heaven's frozen dandruff and cursed the thumb tip holes in her mittens. Both Annie and Heaven's frozen dandruff were typical of all the pretty things in Sarah's life, destined to fade, melt, evaporate. Sarah liked it that way. Permanence made her nervous. Annie wasn't back yet with the $1.05 from the 21 consumed PBRs which constituted their New Year's Eve feast. "You better not have stopped off at Stinky Dick's again." Sarah thumbed through a paperback Breakfast of Champions, weathered, torn from too much love, the margins of many pages scribbled with insights both brilliant and banal. Sarah had long lifted the book's author, Kurt Vonnegut, onto a pedestal labeled The Impossible Father. The real Kurt Vonnegut was a complex, mentally ill man who obsessively sought salvation from an angel called the Muse. At least the book is a friend who doesn't freak when you leave, Sarah thought. Annie returned, chomping gum loudly, waving a 5-note. "How's Stinky Dick?" Sarah said. "We wrote a poem," Annie said. "That what the kids call it these days?" Sarah said. Sarah had recently found salvation via the angel Luvox, an ingested pharmaceutical being destined to slay her darkest thoughts in utero. Angel Luvox was good at such slaying. He was also good at blowtorching her genius and making her sleepy. Sarah, pissed at salvation's price, considered ditching the angel Luvox. Mere existence with evaporated gift isn't living, she thought. I don't laugh anymore. I don't sing. Annie continued to be saved by the angel Stinky Dick, a testosterone-fueled being whose apt nickname arose from a profound laziness in washing his own genitals. Annie accepted Angel Stinky Dick, stench and all. Angel Stinky Dick made Annie's face glow, made Annie's feet float, the consequence of which was to blowtorch all non-Stinky Dick thoughts from Annie's mind. Annie beamed at Sarah. "I'm in love." Sarah shrugged. Just then the sun blowtorched the January overcast, the blast of which, softened by atmosphere, arrived at Annie's pimpled, tear-streamed face as a golden dance of light. Annie spun around to the rhythm of her own childlike humming, hands caressing the air. Sarah, weeping at the transfiguration, stepped forward and embraced Annie. "Me too." Here. The flags were choke holding the trees, and while smoking weed last night, I figured out the algorithm for copper consumption in Africa. Then I got distracted by the machines making money dreams and forgot everything come morning but this. If I wrote in Soviet Russia, I'd feel important. They'd break in my door. Here, no one cares. Literary courage doesn't lead to chains. It just guarantees poverty in the presence of an arrogant imp jacking off on your shoulder. She said she stuck around because I'm strong as a god and weak as a child. The irony was worth exploring, so I stuck around too. I stopped asking how folks are doing because the can of worm unleashed from their faces pumps life into my nightmares. My deepest belief is that comedy makes the tragic bearable, but deeply loving the damage has shown this belief to be just another lie that allows me to breathe. Why can't there be just one Canadian tenor? The guy who designed the Pringles can was so proud of his achievement that he insisted that his ashes be buried in one. His widow munched Pringles at the wake, as did the dog. Sometimes when I'm jacking off and the money shot seems a ways off, my thoughts naturally drift to the mystery of how Pabst Blue Ribbon won the Best Beer in America competition in 1996. Piss won back then, and piss continues to win now. That's the American standard of excellence. Poets whose ambition is greatness need to know this, so they don't waste time pissing on the page for prizes. If you want a prize, especially money, be grateful. Accept it and continue to write as if you hadn't won it. I stay grounded by meditating on the man who invented the Pringles can. Fixating on his smile empowers me to shoot laser beams into the psychological clutter, so that possibly I'll write something radically sane enough to inspire the rats who will inherit the galaxy when I'm gone. The only thing I understand about filters is that mine's unusual. So why am I surprised when I've offended the usuals? Because it would be nice if my penis works the next time I'm intimate with a woman. I've decided at age 45 to eat my veggies and cut down the alcohol. Finally, I've kicked the drama addiction. All I want now is for blood to flow to penis and poems, amen.
Amen.
Or
Yes, bro.
where they used to laugh or argue or just be, the man thinks. Around his body the spiders spin a story. She used to kill them. It was her way of keeping her universe free. When he used to notice the tree, he noticed beauty. The lush scarlet seed pod struck him as alien. He imagined the spores, blown forth by the interstellar wind, landing on the planet, sprouting for the benefit of his eyes and mind. All he notices now is within. What strikes him is the interspecies respect for grief. The spiders don't bite. They tend to crawl along the twin salt tracks, running from eyes to cheeks to chin. Are they licking? Are they sustained by this? He wonders presently if spiders have tongues, and wonders if spiders are capable of kissing like he and she used to do on the porch. He has a tongue that lolls about in dark remembrance. That's the tongue's deepest function now. What's the last thing he did? He reread all the Dr. Seuss books he enjoyed as a kid, starting with Green Eggs and Ham, this time through the filter of adult tragedy. Witnesses say he made it only halfway through Horton Hears a Who, at which time the book dropped from his hands and was blown forth by the gorge wind. She used to read. He sits like this amid thickening webs because she stopped. The hypothetical whys and hows of her stopping played through his mind with no color and no noise. Things passed by without noticing, time and food. She stomped the big yellow leaves like unwanted memories, rubbed the crushed and stuck onto the wet grass, leaves and memories transferred from her to the world. She was a young modern world hominid living in an age that future historians would call insane. Unconcerned with coming wars in outer space, cyberspace, or real space, she accepted that all species warred. The rat lived long enough to be missed. She missed him and knew that someday she too would be missed. The rat's organs failed at age 9 months. She wondered if someday her organs would fail. Probably, she thought. She considered the stars. The stars were shiny, ancient, and different things. They marked the darkness with patterns which comforted the hominids. The Romantics called them beautiful. Romantics were hominids who had to believe that things were better, nobler, more pure than they really were. They put persons, places, and things on pedestals that neither desired nor deserved to be. For their faith, Romantics suffered terribly. Many killed themselves. I'm a romantic who lives on because romantics need a reliable narrator who's been there. I hope to be cured from this disease someday. I really do. She wasn't romantic. She coldly considered the things that molecules became given 4 billion years of evolution. Cockroaches, hominids, and trees made molecules worthy of gold stars slapped on their report cards as far as she was concerned. Evolution's highlights were ugly, she thought. So what? She thought. Being molested at age 7 didn't help. God did it. That's why she stopped. When you start acting like a wave, usually in the morning with changed eye color and gathering rage, my dick becomes mushroom cap and I pee my pants. I'm afraid when you're a wave. Last night we played like kids play, like adults play, 2 particles on the same page. But particles can't play with waves. You spit in a language crueler than human conception, growling, enlarging to drown. I'm not with you in waveland with your music of the damned and skeletons of consumed particles. I'm not with you in wavelands with particulate me seething in terror and the curses of Yahweh not lifted. I'm not with you in waveland where you've scrawled I hate you on the wall with our final Pop-Tart. I'm not with you in waveland where the human I've cherished refuses to return to your eyes. I'm not with you in waveland where gallows and snares are everywhere and hands that caressed are fisted for war. I'm not with you in waveland where the electromagnetic difference is palpable and your breasts are daggers and your sex is scarecrow rabid and I'm a confused period, and your brain is replaced by a thing I dare not name. I'm going to conclude with a poem from happier times, back during my NC-17 happy period, 5 years ago, right around when I started reading here. If this be madness. Oh, great white thick ejaculation of words, the cum shots that heal us. I came to this planet to pleasure the vaginas of truly great women. That was my plan, my divine mission. I failed. Somewhere between dawn's first menstruation and the menopausal dusk, I became a little girl in the guise of a man, gazed long at all the pretty pink penises of puppy dogs, tied pink ribbons into my hair. My hair is the soft gold of poets' dreams. If this be madness, I don't care. My friend the devil sings to me. Madness is a mirror that makes me beautiful of shit. Your lunatic syntax makes me nervous, baby, and the literature of loss makes the frost a little thicker. Spit on my face to thaw me out, suck the words from my tongue, remember me. Time and baby Jesus hold a blade to my balls. I really pissed them off this time. They hate poetry. I'll never forget Jesus and my ex-wife chain smoking beneath the willow tree, waving goodbye. I cried and watched a long time. They balled up my poems, lit them on fire, warmed their little white hands, laughed, and made love right there in front of me. In prison, I have many lovers. They call me Juicy. Here, Juicy, 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 Juicy. They treat me like the princess I've wanted to be. They squeeze the genius out of me with their strong arms. The blood between my legs makes good ink. I dip my finger and write my poems. I've doused my anger with beer, so it's a sunny day in my head again. Psyche, emails from London, says we'll meet in a dream at 3, no grief allowed. We'll try on our new dresses and drink tea. I've got a crush on Johnny. I want to look pretty for him. Words, oh words, take the ennui away. Oh beer, sweet beer, you're in my life to stay. We are stars both large and afraid. We make the universe hot. Our shit, vomit, and fire will feed the next crop of stars. May they be larger, less afraid, free. Johnny, Johnny, do I look pretty? Drag me by my hair to your cave and kiss me like a man. Oh, Johnny, Johnny, let's make another Johnny. A fragment from elsewhere haunts my joy. Amid the proud stalks of sunflowers, my lips pressed to the pulse of your neck. I clutch the yellow wedding gown. Don't go, baby, don't go. I'll keep you with me in my poems. My poems will hold you when you sleep. My poems are better than me, stronger, more lasting than me, more lustful, more forever than me. You, in the protective frame of poetry, will keep me company. I'll write it that way. I'll take my tears to the flame in the memory of your flesh grinding into mine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. If this be madness, it sure the fuck is fun. Visitant from a realm of secret knowledge, get your clipboard out of my face. I ain't buying what you're selling. You bore me, I'm busy living. The rain wants to lick me all over and I'm gonna let her. I'll move into her little apartment in the clouds. I'll keep my shit jobs and be happy. I'll be a good man for once. I'll do tongue exercises to better her pleasure. I'll prepare those funny vegan meals she likes and write poems for her. Only her, my rain, my friend, the devil, my lover, the rain. And I won't sleep until I'm dead. And when I'm dead, I'm dead. I press my death mask into the shit of the universe below Orion's belt. Where his balls are, you'll find my crazy smile shine. May the godless interstellar wind blast my final words to your ears. Cocksuckers, you filled my days with greatness. Thank you.